So remind me what it was that your gran said to you the other day, Jordan?
She said, if you don't grow pears in March, when do you grow them?
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that's a very good opinion. And I'll tell you what other good opinions we have. One's up in this show, where there will also be...
Specifically such as...
that bananas
Yeah.
and pajamas
Yeah.
are close rhymes.
Yes.
That's an opinion.
That's an opinion.
We also have swearing such as, Jordan.
Gosh darn it.
And spoilers such as...
Bruce Willis is a ghost.
What?
No. As if you don't...
In what?
At the end of Sixth Sense?
I haven't seen... Fuck you, Jordan.
As if I just spoiled that for you. That's
I've
like
never
the most
seen that.
spoil... Like,
Jordan!
That's the biggest
I've
spoiler
never
going.
seen that.
I've never seen it either.
How do you know?
It's everyone knows. It's at the end of like a Lonely Island song. You know, jizz in my pants.
How are these things related?
Jizz in my pants.
And then he just says Bruce Willis is a ghost.
No, it's like at the end of Sixth Sense when Bruce Willis was a ghost. I jizz in my pants.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Okay, anyway. So all of those things and more. Stick around and have a lovely day.
Jizz in your pants.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to 250 Reasons to Stay Indoors. I'm Jordan.
I'm Keiran.
And this is the podcast where we watch the IMDb top 250 films. And we say stuff about them. We say stuff like it's good, stuff like it's bad, stuff like I'm ambivalent, stuff like all kinds of things that I can't even imagine. You probably just need to listen to it. So what are we watching this week, Keiran?
This week, you won't believe it, we are watching The Passion of Joan of Arc.
This sounds like it's going to be a fun-filled comedy roller coaster.
Yep. Oh, it's going to have so many hijinks. It's 199 on the list.
Yeah.
It came out, you ready for this?
Yeah.
In 1928.
Fucking sweet. Can't wait for that, mate.
Wow.
Right. So it's basically almost not on the list.
What do you mean?
199.
There's 250 films.
Yeah, there's 50. That's like, but the last 50. I mean, we've come across quite a few shit ones that aren't even in like, they're in like the hundreds. So I'm not hopeful for it there. 1920s, that's quite old.
That's a great deduction. You know what? There's only been 2 films post 200 that we've watched. Are you willing to guess what
post 200?
As in like higher than the number 200 on the list.
Okay.
I'm going to just tell you what they are because guessing them was going to take long. Before Sunrise and A Wednesday.
Okay, I didn't enjoy either of those.
I really liked Before Sunrise.
So maybe you'll like this one. What do you think it's going to be about?
I think it's going to be about Joan of Arc. Way! Because that's what the name of the film is.
Yeah.
The Passion of Joan of Arc. I think it's just going to be like the story of her life. Or like a biopic, if you like.
Yeah.
But without it being as romantic as a biopic could be. I don't think I've ever seen a biopic.
Yes, you have.
I don't know.
Yes, you have. There's no way you haven't seen a biopic. As if you've never seen a film that's about a person.
Oh, is that all a biopic?
It's just a film about like a true, like an autobiography, but in the form of a film.
Not the same way that a story that's based on a true story.
No, it's not. It's not like a. Well,
but it's specifically on that person.
It's usually about how the person came to be what they are, sort of thing.
Right. Because.
Have you watched the biopic on James Brown? That one's really good.
No, and I haven't seen the one on Ray Charles either.
Yeah, that one's really good.
But, I have seen a biopic on Edith Piaf.
Great.
You know who Edith Piaf is?
Love him, yeah. So I think...
She's a woman!
Love her. Love her work.
She did the one from the song from Inception. No.
Oh, yeah.
That's her.
So I've just murdered her again.
But The Passion of Joan of Arc, I think it's going to be cool. I'm really excited for it to be another French film. So 2 French films in a row. Yes.
I'm slightly excited excited is the wrong word. I'm slightly maybe looking forward to it because I don't really know anything about Joan of Arc. So I, in that aspect, I'm glad that I can find out something about her that doesn't require me to read a book. How
do you feel about the 1928 thing?
That's the bit that worries me. It's not so much the 199 on the list. It's the 1920s. That's hard. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel. How do we know how long this film is?
It's okay. It's 1 hour 54.
Oh, okay. I can bear that.
If it was like 2 hours 20, that's when I'm starting to be like, yeah. But then when it starts to get to like 2 hours 40,
anything after 2 hours, I'm a bit hesitant.
Okay.
Okay, but it's going to be about Joan of Arc. I reckon it's probably a biopic as well.
I really like history, and I am quite concerned about the 1928 thing. So I'm intrigued.
Okay. Well, the only way we're going to find out is if we go and watch the thing.
Ha!
So let's go and do it.
All right. On the flip side, guys.
And we're back with a couple of fast thoughts. Religion.
France.
Christianity.
Really horrible clergyman.
Black and white.
Silent film.
French text.
The people revolting.
Fire.
Burning at the stake.
Torture.
Weird crown.
Court.
Men's clothes.
Men's, really?
Well, she there's a whole thing about her wearing.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Women's clothes.
Clothes.
Short hair.
Kinky torture chambers.
Long hair.
Cutting of hair.
Fingers.
Okay, Jordan. All right. Okay. I see what we're doing now. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, they'll probably do it. Are you ready with your 15-second pitch?
I think so. I reckon that I can say words that will eventually last as long as 15 seconds if I can about surmise them in my head.
Okay. Thank you for the explanation of how that works.
That's all right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Back in the day, Joan of Arc is being persecuted by some French clergymen who support the English, and she's like, I've been sent to get the English to fuck off by God, and they're like, no, you haven't. And she stays really faithful to God. Eventually, they kind of make her change her mind, and she gets burnt on the stake.
16 and 12.
Shit.
16.12.
Because I was like, do I keep going? Have I said everything? And for me, there's a gap. There's a gap like a 2/3 of the way through where there's like some bullshit that happens where she goes back and forth and she signs a thing and then she's like, oh no, I've been unfaithful to God, and then she gets burnt on the stake because she's been so faithful to God apparently, and then then the people's like, but no. And then everyone kicks off. That's the part I missed out as well.
Right. See, there was like one little flip-flop, but that felt like that happened pretty close to the end and was pretty quick, which I don't think you mentioned. But on that note, how long was the version that you watched?
It was like 2 hours.
See, the one I watched was like an hour and a half.
Oh. Sorry, yeah. I'm just checking. The one I watched was an hour and 21, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it said online, didn't it? That it was like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I was very confused by that.
That being said, if it was like 2 hours long, I think I'd have been like, okay.
Yeah.
Just about enough of this now. Whereas 1 hour 20 is more than fine.
Yeah. Overall impression of the film?
I dug it.
Yeah?
Yeah. What about you?
Fucking hated it.
Okay, here we go. Nice one. Okay, so should we do a little synopsis?
Yeah, let's do it.
But quickly, we've had a little bit of feedback from you guys, and taking that on board, we're going to switch up the synopsis a little bit how it was before, a little bit how it was most recently.
Yeah.
In as much as we don't want to ramble for 25 minutes.
Basically, yeah.
Which was the main idea behind doing the synopsis where we're reading off IMDb. But then we also realised that when we just read off IMDb, it sounds like we're just reading off IMDb.
Which is what we're doing.
Yeah,
that's why it sounds like that.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is.
Now, yeah. So I think Jordan, I'm gonna put this to you.
Okay.
We're gonna just see what we can come up with in our heads. Do it with a bit of urgency.
Yeah.
Still bring out some sound effects.
Yeah.
And if we get sidetracked, we'll just do a quick pause and then just get back on track by reading a little line or two from the synopsis.
Yeah.
Then go just back to us.
Yeah. I mean, for this film in particular, I don't see how you can sum up the film with a synopsis that is any longer than 15 seconds, as you just did. Because personally, I don't think anything really... Like, this feels like it could have been settled in, like, a 20-minute episode of Law & Order.
But, okay. Or should we just go into the synopsis then?
Sure. So, how does it start?
All right, we got Joan. She is a French woman, and she is in a court. Back then, the courts were like religious courts, right?
Yeah, it's not a court of law, it's a court of God.
Well, that's what courts were back in the day. Courts of law were courts of God.
Right, God's law.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so the clergymen, they're the people who are the judges and shit. And basically, the clergy, where this is geographically, so I checked out a bit of the history.
Okay.
You got different parts of France. I mean, the borders of France weren't the same as they are now, of course.
No.
But it was way different, wasn't it? But there's...
the north.
Thank you, Jordan.
And the south.
Yeah, keep going.
And the east.
Yep.
The west.
There we go.
You've got the northwest.
Okay, all right, we're done now. So, but basically, her thing was that she was going to travel from one part to the other. She did a bunch of things about a bunch of stuff, telling the English to piss off back to England,
right?
Get out of France. But she was captured by some French clergymen who were sympathetic to the English, and they were like, "What are you on about? Saying that the English should fuck off because actually." We like the English and you're a dickhead. But Joan's like, nah, for real, God told me that this is what I should do. And they're like, hold up, are you the daughter of God? Is that what you're saying? And she's like, well, I don't know, maybe. And they're like, but for real? And she's like, I guess I am. And they're like, shit.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of the clergy who are like, nah, she's full of shit. And there's a bunch of the clergy who are like, oh, you know what, maybe.
Well, thank you for actually explaining what the fuck she did. Because I don't think that was ever explained in this film. It was just throughout the whole film.
Oh, as in her history?
Yeah, no, they were just saying, do you claim to be sent by God? Oh, I'm not sure. Do you claim to be sent by God? Oh, I'm not sure. Do you claim to be sent by God? Yes, okay. Do you realize it's the devil? No. Do you realize it's the devil? No. Do you realize? Yeah, okay. Okay, now we're going to kill you. And that was basically it. Like, they didn't explain what she did or where she came from. Like, it felt like it was expected that the audience knows the story of Joan of Arc.
Yeah. However, she had, at that time in history when the film came out, it was in recent history that she had been made a saint. She was made a saint, I think, in 1912 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so... she was made a saint because she was such a martyr. Because all of her.
Sorry,
a martyr. Okay, you know what that is?
Yeah, a martyr.
Right. Thank you. Hey, check you out for sorting out my pronunciation.
You're welcome.
When you keep saying error.
Well, actually, you know what? I've been doing some digging on this.
Okay.
And you can pronounce it both ways. It's
Dude,
just
you can pronounce anything however you like. It's just there's a right and a wrong way.
No.
Yeah, there is.
Error or era, it's both the same thing.
You make an error when you say it, error.
Potato, it's the same thing.
No. Anyway, it is true. If you didn't know anything about Joan of Arc, which, to be fair, I didn't know a lot about. I just thought that she was some woman that the French liked because she did some things against the English, but I didn't know why she was being burned at stake. And it turned out the reason why it was such a big deal is because it was a moment for the clergy to check itself.
Mm.
And it's like, if you have someone who's claiming they are the son or daughter of God or whatever, and they're doing everything for the sake of God, at what point do you call them crazy and at what point do you believe them? I think that's why it was such a big deal. Anyway, back to the actual order of the things that happened, the synopsis. So they're like, okay, well, go back to your cell. For me, that first whole thing was unconcluded. It wasn't necessarily determined that she was sent by the devil and stuff.
Yeah.
Someone wrote a letter.
Yeah.
They constructed a letter from Charles, I think the 7th or something, of France. Now, this is something that confused me because I always thought that King Charles was King Charles of England. There were King Charleses of France.
What?
I didn't know this. So,
fuck's sake.
So this kind of confused me. So the King Charles of France was the one that she was like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
And whatever he does, he's been sent by God to be the King of France. So he's the dude, yeah?
Right.
So, sorry, not the dude. Different film.
Fucking hell.
But I keep doing this and I'm just expecting that you're going to pull me up and be like, no, it's the wrong film. Anyway.
No, the dude abides.
Thank you. Shit. So anyway, and she's like, well, I guess I'll do whatever the king wants me to do.
Yeah.
Her not being able to read, because she comes from peasant origins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the clergy's like, are you sent from the devil? Do you renounce your words saying that you were sent by God and stuff? And there's this whole thing where she's like, they're threatening torture and stuff, and it gets a bit extra in this torture chamber. And she eventually signs this thing saying, I renounce what I said in court.
Yeah. She finally signs the piece of paper to say that she renounces it.
Yeah, so she signs that in... she doesn't do that in the kinky torture chamber.
No.
But she does it when she's about to be sent.
It's when they mention that she's going to be burnt alive.
Yeah, and she's like, okay, I fully...
She's like, fuck off, I'm not down with that.
Well, the crowd's also like, just sign the goddamn thing, Joan. We don't want to see you dead.
Yeah.
And so she goes back into a torture thing, and someone's cutting her hair just because lols, I guess.
Yeah, have you smelt burning hair?
Yeah, but they're not going to burn her at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they've decided that they're not going to burn her. So I guess maybe
they're going to do like a Cersei walk of shame style thing.
Maybe it's like I don't know,
maybe she just wanted a haircut,
just a trim.
The thing is, they made a point that she like had her hair like a boy's or something, didn't they?
So the whole thing was like she was dressing as a man because once she'd done her duty, then she can dress as a woman.
Yeah, I don't know, something about a woman with her head shaved. I thought she looked more feminine when she had her head shaved than when she had short hair.
I mean, I'm into women with short hair, so I can dig it.
You can dig it.
Yes, I can.
All night long. Wait, no, that's boogie. I can boogie.
Okay.
Sorry.
Anyway, so I'm sorry to disappoint you. Well, actually, no. You got the words wrong. You disappointed yourself.
I know.
Anyway, so...
That was such a fucking hearty laugh for disappointing myself.
Yeah.
Stop taking such joy in my misery.
I kind of feel like that's what this is. But anyway. Anyway, when she's getting her fresh lid, she realizes, oh shit, I actually was betraying God.
Yeah, it's when he's sweeping up the hair and she's like, okay, that's my hair gone, and then he sweeps up this crown thing that she'd made or something, and she was like, oh shit, I'm sent by God. What am I doing?
Yeah, and also by her saving her own skin by going away from the stake by signing this letter, she is renouncing God when she renounces her words.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want to do that because obviously she's been sent by God and she's God's girl, right?
Yeah.
And so she goes back to the clergy, I guess, and she's like, send for the clergy people, whatever. And they come and she's like, for real, I will get burnt at the stake. It's cool because God's my guy. So yeah, I'll go do that. It's fine.
Yeah.
And they're like, you sure? And she's like, yeah.
Joan, it's really going to hurt, mate.
Yeah. It's going to be toasty in there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, she gets burnt at the stake. But it's because everyone knows. Like, so they write on the paper. So when you get burnt at the stake, when one would be burnt at the stake.
Yeah.
On top of the...
Yeah, what did that say? Because I couldn't read it. There were no subtitles for that.
Heresy.
Oh, okay.
Which is like, so someone is a lunatic or something.
Yeah.
Or that they're just being weird. That's kind of what I got from it. And so the clergy is calling her crazy or been sent by the devil and stuff. But in fact, the people do definitely know that she is accepting being burnt at the stake because she so firmly believes that she's been sent by God.
Yeah.
And she's doing this as an act of dedication to God.
Mm-hmm.
And so as soon as she's like starting to get burnt in flames and screaming and everything, someone from the crowd shouts, "You killed a saint."
Yeah.
And then everything goes...
Just everyone loses their shit.
Everyone loses their shit.
And all the guards like start drawing their weapons to fight the crowd.
Their maces and stuff.
Yeah.
And they all just beat everyone up. And that's basically that.
Yeah.
That's kind of how the film ends.
That's basically it. The film ends sort of there, didn't it, really? With like, it sort of closes on her, the stake and fire.
Were there any closing credits? Were there any like, oh, this is what happened afterwards? Or was it just...
There was some stuff, but I can't remember what it said.
Okay. It might have just been like Joan of Arc was a saint afterwards, and that's that.
I don't think it explained much about it. It was more, I think, like about the film itself. Like, no, as in like who transcribed stuff and... because the subtitles and stuff like that.
Oh no, that was right at the start. That was right.
No. There was that at the end as well. It was like saying some random audio person in Quebec. How do you say that place?
Quebec.
Quebec.
Yeah.
Sounds weird, doesn't it? Like
It's just it's not.
quinoa, but Quebec.
Well,
Quebec.
quinoa should be quinoa. I think we both know that. But Quebec is going to be Quebec.
Right. Okay. But yeah. So anyway, it just said that at the end there was like that bit, and there was also some other stuff I think about. But you're right. At the start of the film, there also was a bit where it's talking about the origin of the film and how it was the first.
All the stuff in the court was really well transcribed. Like it was all taken down in scrupulous detail. That's what they said.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of fascinating how they were able to get this perspective. Oh, by the way, should we finish the synopsis? Should we actually call this?
That's the end of the synopsis.
Going to how the history was recorded. Loads of times in history, people have written down that something bad happens to someone else because they're crazy or they're a lunatic.
Yeah.
The whole thing of like history is written by the winners, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting how the way that it was recorded, it was indeed recorded that the people revolted because they believed that she was a saint.
Mm.
And so I just find it interesting that at some point they decided that that she was a saint.
Right.
Because they listened to the voice of the people and they didn't just go off the voice of the clergy who tends to always dictate these things.
Right. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? How history is written by the winners, and in this case, history was written by the people.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just said.
That's what you're trying to say,
Yeah.
but maybe summed up a little nicer.
Okay. Thanks. So should we go into some beefs? I feel like you got a bunch, so do you want to hit us with some?
No, I just want to first off say, so the film obviously, I did a little tweet about it because, so you're French, obviously.
Right.
You can read French.
Uh-huh.
And it's about a French thing.
There were some words that were like, that's an old-timey French word, I've got to translate that.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I did have to pause and be like, let me just check the meaning of that.
Yeah. So
but mostly, I got it, yeah.
So the film itself is from the 1920s, obviously, in a silent movie. For those of you who don't know, most of the time in the cinema or the theatre where they would play them, they would have like a piano playing alongside. Now, for this film in particular, the director, whose name I can't remember, he didn't actually sort of pick out any music in particular to listen to or to go with it.
Right.
Nothing was ever strictly written for it.
Mm-hmm.
So the version that I was watching, which is on YouTube, which you can go and watch, didn't have any sound whatsoever.
Oh, really?
So it was completely silent.
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
For an hour and 25.
I'm really sorry.
And reading the subtitles of French text.
Oh, dude.
So that's maybe why I didn't like it so much. So that's maybe my first beef. But I did have on my notes here, the film was essentially a 2 out of 10 from the beginning for me. Then I poured myself a glass of red wine.
Okay.
And it became a 5 out of 10.
So so you drank the blood of Christ. And
I drank the blood of Christ.
And became a 5 out of 10.
Christ compelled me to like the film.
Okay.
And then I got so sick of listening to it in silence that this all happened within about 3 minutes of the film, by the way.
Sure.
I got so sick of listening to it in silence. I remember that I downloaded a soundtrack of music inspired by the TV series Hannibal.
Okay.
And I put that on, and it's all classical music.
Uh-huh.
And some of it synced up incredibly.
Really?
And it dramatically improved my viewing experience.
Wicked.
So if anyone does want to watch this film, I made one little timestamp that you might want to try out for a particular song. So it's at 11 minutes and 36.
Uh-huh.
You want to listen to The Thieving Magpie.
Okay.
It just lines up so well with like it ends with a crescendo of him like spitting on her face, and like the music just went so well, and it like made people look stupid, and like it was kind of like funny at times and changed the mood. So anyway, beefs.
But what it would be interesting, actually, just quickly, if people decided to listen to different pieces of music.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? We spoke on Shutter Island about how music can like affect how you feel, like the emotion.
How good sound is
it.
good. Yeah.
How good sound is good.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to see how some of the songs were, because it was inspired by Hannibal. This music, some of it was really dark, and some of it was, it just had different emotions attached to it. And so there'd be scenes that I knew were supposed to be pretty dark, but the music was kind of funny at times, and it was like, no, I shouldn't be laughing.
I would just like it if someone was watching The Passion of Joan of Arc whilst listening to NWA. I just feel like that would be a good Do you know what I mean? Because it would be so polar opposite.
Yeah.
And then you would just have like some random swearing in the midst of someone, crying for the 100th time, looking wistfully into the distance.
Yeah, or even like the Barbie song. That would be interesting as well. Wouldn't it?
Or just like when
Disney
it
goes to one of the really fat clerical men. Just like, come on, Barbie. Let's go, Barbie. And she just pans back to her face like,
Especially because there's so many. Okay, let's go proper beefs now.
Yeah, sure.
Am I supposed to be able to lip read? Because there were many points where... Okay, well, what...
There are, isn't there? There's points where I could lip read even though I knew it was French. And I was like, no, she's probably saying this. Or he's like one word things and stuff like that.
Which is kind of the beauty of silent film. But there were some points where it was like they're just definitely just moving their mouth in ways that aren't actually words. just to kind of allude to them talking. Because I'll give you an audio description of how the speech kind of worked out. So someone would start saying something... And you would see their lips move like fast and whatever, and then it would go to in speech marks, the caption of what they were saying on like a black background, and then they would just about finish off what they were saying. So like the last word on the caption you would see that in the way that their lips were moving. So for me, like most of the speech made sense, but there were points where the lips would just go like and it made no sense at all. So that kind of thing was a bit weird. However, I did find most of it compelling.
Right, well, I put it to you, Keiran, that silent movies are nothing more than fucking high-tech picture books.
Okay. No, I feel like there's a bit more magic in it.
What's in a picture book?
Pictures.
And text.
Yeah.
This is just text and moving pictures.
Okay, so...
But there was no sound...
What?
Even some picture books have noises. You open them up and it's like...
That's a super high-tech picture book. Okay, but...
And you press the little dinosaur and it goes...
No, I feel like it was...
You can't press Joan. She doesn't do anything.
What would she say?
Oh, sacre bleu.
No, she didn't say sacre bleu at any point. She was all like, "Oh, I'm the daughter of God," but that's less catchy. No, I did think it was cool. I did kind of like the.
You're wrong.
Huh?
You're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
You are.
Also, the music that was on the version that I watched was really good.
Oh, really?
That was nice. Yeah, so I definitely think you're missing out. So that was really cool, and that did a lot for me to enjoy it. I did think that some of the faces were a bit exaggerated, but I'll go off you other beefs.
Well, it's like when we were watching Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
And, that's obviously about a silent movie actress. And she explains how it's all in the face and stuff like that.
Sure.
And, conveying as many emotions as you can. And she just looked smashed all the time. She just looked pissed off her fucking face. Like, literally every scene, her eyes are so open and she's just looking from different corners of the screen and mumbling.
It's like she's looking for God all the time.
Right, exactly.
She doesn't get angry.
It just annoyed me so much. It was just like, what is it? Nothing is fucking happening. Go on, what's your beef? Sorry.
One thing that I definitely got annoyed with was clearly back in the day, not as progressive as we are these days. All the stuff that they were saying that why do you wear men's clothes?
Yeah.
If a woman wants to wear what you consider to be a gender construct of men's clothes, then why can't she? But then I was like, okay. Then again, this is what 16, 17.
I was about to say, thank you for stating the obvious.
Yeah. So I just think,
and also filmed in the 1920s.
That is true as well.
Yeah.
That is true.
They're historically accurate, and also that's just what they were like then.
Yeah. Did you see throwback to Once Upon a Time in the West, that shite film?
Yeah.
The whole thing of flies. Thank you. The whole thing of flies at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
On the guy's face.
Yeah.
Did you see the flies that kept coming up in this film?
No.
Dude, they were like, at least at 3 points, there was a fly that would come on someone's face. And
no, I don't remember that.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, it happened.
Okay.
It definitely did. And it were even points where like she kind of brushes it away, but they leave it in the film. I'm like, what the?
Must have been a lot more difficult to edit back then.
Yeah, but just take the shot again. Like, surely you can take the shot again.
I just don't know. This is the 20s. This is when film probably just sort of started.
Yeah, but still, when the people were recording like music, for instance, they wouldn't just rely on a one-take wonder, would they? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know, mate.
I don't know. I've got no idea.
I wasn't there, Kieran.
No, yeah, fine. Okay. Well, I'm just wondering, like, why is it that there seemed. It seemed to me like they had a studio, yeah, and they were just flyers all over the place. Surely they would have put preventative measures in. As soon as they realised that there was one fly, they were like, okay, we can't allow another fly to be on someone's face. Let's, I don't know, put some of the fly strips at the top of the ceiling so that they all just go there.
Yeah.
But no, they was always there the whole time. Also, do you see where they were like, oh, she's got the flu or something? And so they had to take a blood sample or something? Or she had to like, I don't know what the fuck.
They had to drain her.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so and I think it's in the same vein of
Hey.
Thank you. I actually didn't even mean to do that. As when they used to use leeches and stuff like that to cure ailments. It's like just draining the blood. But then she did like perk up afterwards, didn't she? But then again, that was acting. It wasn't actually.
Well, obviously. But it just looks so realistic, to be honest.
Yeah, it was kind of gross. It was cute, and it was cool how I was wondering what they were going to do with, do they have like those fake knives back in the 20s, or how they're going to do it? Part of me was even like, are they actually going to stab her? Like,
it looked like a proper Stanley knife that they were putting into her arm, and they were just slicing her arm, and then it was just like blub, 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 into a saucepan. And it was gross.
We must catch the flu.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, and that was really
not
gross.
Nice. There was right at the end one scene where a baby is sucking on a boob.
Yeah.
And it felt so unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's like, what is going on? It's like, Joan is dead. And then a baby like pulls away from a boob, looks sort of towards her general direction, and then goes back to the boob.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah. So this controversial thing is happening, and it's so crazy that even the kid wants to get away from the tit, and then it's like, nah, fuck this.
It's almost like one of the producers was like, oh, you got to stick a tit in there, though, haven't you? Because otherwise people won't watch it.
Exactly. That's going to be part of the trailer. That's what makes people watch the film.
All of the 1920s school kids with their little flat caps and their high socks going, oh, did you see the Passion of the Joan of Arc film? I've heard that there's a tit in it. I'm gonna go round my dad's and watch it. And then everyone will like try and go round that kid's dad's house and watch it. Do you reckon?
Yeah, of course. I'm just thinking like if they're like French filmmakers, if they were getting towards the end of the filming and they were like, oh, we got this far as the filming and there are no boobies in the film. What are we going to do?
We need at least one boobie.
At least one tit.
I don't know what that accent was.
That's okay. It'll pass.
Global. We need one boobie. Just one.
One boobie.
We need one boobie. Maybe a sprinkle of
what's going on
hairy
there?
Leg. Oui.
Oui. We need one boobie, hairy leg, and a baguette in the film.
Perhaps some camembert.
Yeah, I just felt like it was necessary. It has for it to be a French film. There has to be some reference to some kind of sex, and for this film, despite it being a very religious film, of course, there's going to be a woman breastfeeding in the middle of the square.
Yeah,
of course. I mean, women can breast.
They can breastfeed. You are right.
Women
they can do that.
Not just
we have the technology.
You don't need technology to breastfeed. Some people do. That's totally
the biological
fine.
technology.
I'm just saying that women can breastfeed anywhere. I'm not saying that it's weird for them to breastfeed in a square. How did I get into this?
I don't know. Do you reckon that's a term though? Could we call things of ourselves biological technology?
Sure, but isn't it?
Does that mean
if biology? Isn't that just what it is?
It is, isn't it? It's just but it doesn't sound as cool. But then
biotech. Hey.
So if it's just like a war of people just punching each other, is that biological warfare? Biological warfare? Because you think of that as like some sort of like nukes and stuff, don't you?
Search for biological warfare.
Kieran's doing a Siri search.
So, biological warfare is also known as germ warfare, is the use of biological toxins or infectious agents such as bacteria, viruses, and fungi with the intent to kill or incapacitate humans. Not so much like boxing.
Right. So, what if we got then rounded up all the old people with flu
Yeah.
and put them on the front lines and just got them to cough at the enemies. That's biological warfare, isn't it?
That is biological warfare.
You're trying to bring down the enemy troops by making them sick with flu.
Yeah, just sends it off. Yeah, if everyone sneezed into one big tube and then just fired it at the opposition, do you reckon they would all receive
Just think
it?
about the force of a sneeze. Maybe that's enough air that the force would knock someone out.
I've been thinking about this before.
Yeah.
There should be a form of like energy gathering thing because think about the amount of momentum you get from a sneeze.
Right.
Surely you can convert that energy into electricity.
Welcome to Kieran Pearson's Sneeze Farms. We harvest only the strongest of sneezes.
Think about that. Like there's so much kinetic energy you go. Like you're moving your head forwards, and there's so much stuff that's coming out of you, and it just comes out of your body like that, just like that.
But equally, you could just do that without sneezing, because that's just your energy, isn't it?
Yeah, but
so you could just push something.
But sneezes are involuntary. So just imagine you've got just like a little device on your person, and like dude.
Well, you just capture the sneeze.
Wait.
Okay.
Let's say this would be perfect for people with hay fever.
Right.
So as much as it sucks for them to have hay fever, they can take their antihistamines and shit like that.
Yeah.
But they're still going to sneeze during hay fever season, right?
Yeah.
So you put a little, device on them somewhere where as soon as they know they're about to sneeze, they just turn the little device on. They go, achoo, achoo, as many times as they end up sneezing.
Yeah.
Average of 2 or 3, I would think. And then that just kind of keeps the sneeze, but keeps the energy from the sneeze. And then they can use it to charge their phones.
Like
how
what?
cool
Like
would that be?
Imagine, right? Like in Monsters Inc. where they take the screams.
Yes, Jordan.
Like that, but so it's like a gas mask that you keep on your back, and every time you sneeze into it, and a little dial fills up, and then you can just plug in your phone to that.
This is what we need, Jordan.
Sneeze energy.
This is the future.
Sneeze energy.
No, okay.
No. And a sneeze.
No. Okay, well, we'll definitely think about the name, but this is something that I think should really, really happen.
Yes.
Anyway.
Have
you got any more beefs?
Yeah, when she was burning, she didn't seem to scream at all.
It's a silent film, Jordan.
I know, but she didn't look that... Like, she just looked, again, smashed. She didn't... there's a silent film, but she's still talking, Kieran. And we can see that she's talking. But so why can't she be screaming? Surely screaming is pretty easy to convey.
Have you seen the cover of the debut album by Rage Against the Machine? It's the Buddhist guy who's sitting in the middle of a street in Vietnam.
Yeah.
He's burning himself.
Yeah.
Covered himself in gasoline.
Yeah.
And he's just stolid. He's just sitting there and he's not moving.
Right.
Everyone's like, "Fuck's going on?" He's just like silent.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to argue that point.
Also, you wouldn't have... I mean, okay, sure. I feel like if there was to be a close-up of her face screaming, then they would have had to convey all of the flames.
Yeah.
Whereas the way they did this in the silent film...
But she's not coughing either from all the smoke. What say you to that, good sir?
Okay. All right. At the very least, you should be coughing.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
I'll take that. That's fine.
Okay, good. That's 1 point in the bank. Okay.
Should we do some bits and bobs?
Bits and bobs, yeah?
I have a few ones and then one which I just found absolutely ridiculous and hilarious.
I did see you open up your laptop to show me something. Is that one of your bits and bobs?
That is one of my bits and bobs. I want to save it for the end.
Okay.
Cool. So just like at the start, I was like, this is so ridiculous and extra. But I kind of really, really enjoyed it. The torture chamber. What did you think of the torture chamber?
Hey,
Jordan?
it looked like a low-budget gym. It looked quite pleasant. It was quite clean. Yeah. It just looked spacious. Didn't really look that scary. And then there's just that one dude spinning the wheel, looking at her just like, look at my wheel. Look at what it can do. Do I bring you fear?
It was one step away from Wheel of Fortune. It was just...
Yeah.
Yeah. I did think that like the only thing that was making it not a gym was that there are a few more spikes than there would be in a normal gym.
Well, yeah,
and those signs saying please mop up the equipment after you use it.
Exactly.
And return the weights to their normal places.
But wouldn't like some weights in the corner? You wouldn't have. That would have looked like they wouldn't look out of place if there was just some weights in the corner of the room.
You're very right. And also like a few mirrors and like some obnoxious old men. Oh no. There
were obnoxious. Maybe just a vending machine full of Lucozade.
It'd be fucking hilarious if one of those clergymen, like, whilst the whole scene was happening, was like, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're sent by the devil and everything," and someone's just pumping iron in one of the corners.
Yeah, just on a fucking treadmill. Hey guys, can you keep it down? I'm trying to watch this. There's just like 5 TVs all showing the news.
Sweet, yeah. Okay, can you pad some time whilst I get this out on my laptop?
Yeah. So basically, I think there was one scene where the torturer was just poking her in the ear, like with some sort of like feathery thing or something. And it's just like, wow, the French really know how to torture, man. Like,
real mature.
Just like, okay, sit her in the seat. She sits down. It's like, bring out the feathers, and they just start dusting her.
I think that was a thing though.
What, feathering? Well, that's one of the I think it was like a Viking torture method. Shout out to the TV show Vikings, because it's where I saw it.
Okay.
Where they would tie you.
Proper shout out or?
Well, no, not really.
Okay. Right.
You can't really shout out and not
TV
a real
series.
thing. Like not, it has to be a person.
Okay, fine.
So they like tie you in a cave or whatever, and they set like a bucket or just a situation where basically there's a slow drip of water, and they put your forehead underneath it and then just leave you there. And
because it'll send you insane.
Yeah, it's like just the constant dripping. You can't sleep and you can't do anything, and it's just constantly dripping on your head, and it drives you insane. And then like apparently the drip starts to actually be really painful. Like it's both psychological and a physical thing. It's really strange.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. How did they figure that out? That's crazy.
I know, right? Someone's just like, Johnny's sitting there like in his torture room. It's like, my torture room looks like a gym. No one respects me. I need to come up with something better. What? I'm going to, fuck it. I'm going to drip water on people's heads.
No, maybe he just had like a really leaky roof.
Right.
And like...
He's just like woke up at night and he's just like, ah!
And then a light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Maybe other people won't like this either. Yeah. Okay, I want to show you this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. It is at both 49 minutes and 42 seconds and 1 hour, 5 minutes and 26 seconds. There is on the wall a drawing of a bird with a man's head fire breathing.
Yeah, I saw it.
What?
I was like, I made a note about, I don't, it's like some... It's
what the fuck is that, Jordan? What the fuck is that? We'll definitely share a picture on our Twitter and stuff, but like...
It was like a man... I was watching it and I was like, did some fucking dickhead just walk around with a Sharpie and just like graffiti the set, and they didn't have enough money to get a new piece of the set? They're like, fuck it, hopefully people won't notice.
How did they get... Like, why is it even there? If it was a phoenix...
Right, because
that would kind of make sense.
It doesn't fit in with the aesthetic of the room at all, and it's just on its own on one section of the wall.
There's no other like
no, there's no other drawings or anything.
And this looks like a child's drawn it.
Yeah, it's so strange when you look at it. The wing, it looks like both of the wings are on the right side of the bird, or the left side of the bird rather.
The wings are like, for me, they're like that kind of, that's fine.
That's fine to you, is it?
I'll deal with the wings because.
But then you move up from the wings and there's a man's face.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like everything else that's going on is so much bullshit that I just can't deal with it. It's a man's face. The feet are just sticks.
It's a spicy chicken man.
It's a spicy chicken man breathing fire. That's okay. Fine. Yeah. I just thought like that was ridiculous. There we go.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Are you done with your bits and bobs?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay, scene. So, who would you be in this film, Keiran? And what would you do in this film, Keiran? And how can I drag this out any longer,
I
Keiran?
would be the people, and I would revolt. I would be the people.
Oh my God, what a cop-out.
No.
I would be everyone.
No, No. At the very least, I'd be one of the people.
Yeah.
And I would just call out the clergy on their bullshit earlier.
Yeah.
Because I'd have been able to tell, I think, hindsight's a wonderful thing. But I think I would have been able to tell.
Beans means hindsight.
What? I almost feel offended that you thought that was. Oh man! I just looked into your future and saw a Christmas dinner conversation. Everyone's serious, and Grandpa Jordan, is on his third Baileys, and someone says the word hindsight. 2 minutes later, beans means hindsight.
No, it'd be more
Shut up,
instant, wouldn't
Grandad.
it? It'd be like, well, hindsight is 2020. Beans means hindsight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, Jordan. But anyway, beans means hindsight is a wonderful thing, and so we're able to say, "Oh, I think I would have clocked it earlier," but I do think I would have been able to clock it earlier, and I would have, made a little petition to the clergy, say, "Please don't burn her at the stake because she's legit." But then they wouldn't have been able to. They wouldn't have known that it was so. I mean, okay, pardon the pun. The stakes were so high. Yeah. So the stakes were so high because she was like, okay, well, I'll get burned at the stake, and no one's going to take her seriously until the point where she actually does get burned at the stake.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'd be the people. Who'd you be?
So I'd probably be one of the clergymen, because there was a couple of guys there that seemed like there was one guy that they put it up to a vote as to whether one question was irrelevant,
and he had his
there was
hand
one
down.
dude that didn't put his hand up, and then he sort of got like kind of nodded at, as in to gesture and to insinuate if he doesn't put his hand up, something bad will happen, or like
He was it was a young clergyman.
Yeah. So I'd be one of the clergymen and probably draw the line where after that they're like, we couldn't get a confession out of her through questioning. We must try trickery. And I don't know. I think I don't think that the Lord would be down with trickery in terms of, because what they're doing is they are trying to prove that she is claiming to be a false prophet, and sent from God when she isn't. They're trying to prove essentially that she isn't.
But they're just pushing their own doctrine.
Exactly, yeah. There's an element where actually it's just more beneficial to them that she does accept that she's wrong.
Yeah.
I would be one of the clergymen, and as a man of God, at least one voice in the room would have to be, no, guys, maybe we should continue the line of questioning, and maybe we should be open to considering that she may actually be telling the truth.
How very responsible of you.
Thank you.
I just got a quick thing.
Yeah.
Sorry I didn't bring this up in the bits and bobs. My apologies, everyone. But the hair.
Yes.
Now, this isn't
won the race.
Sorry?
The hare won the race, and the tortoise.
No,
he didn't, did he?
No,
he
of
lost
course
the
it
race.
doesn't. No, stupid hair.
The tortoise won.
Yeah, slow and steady. Come on, basics. Jordan. Anyway, the hair of the clergyman and the people. So it's a monastery, right? They're all monks and stuff. Well, they're clergymen, but they're dressed like monks.
Well, yeah.
Well, not like Tibetan monks, but Catholic monastery monks. You know what I mean?
What is the deal with that haircut?
So the deal is, okay, what I reckon it was is that one clergyman one day had a bald spot, right?
Right.
And he's got whatever pattern baldness is, whatever it is that I have as well.
Okay.
And so, but it's really severe, not in the front, but like a massive bald spot right in the crown of the head, yeah? And so he was like, okay, I'm the chief clergyman, and I deliberately made my hair like this because it allows God's messages to come straight to my head, and you should all exactly. You should all shave your heads like this.
Right.
And so I reckon all of that hairstyle is just purely bred out of insecurity.
Yeah, I agree with that actually. I mean, I was going to say that it's probably like you said, so that God can have a clearer image into their soul or something stupid like that. But,
whoa. Wow. Whoa, okay.
Come on now.
All right then, Jordan.
But you're probably right. It was probably, that was what they were told, but it was actually just some dude going, actually, I'm bald and I'm a little bit embarrassed about it.
By the way, hello to all our Catholic listeners. I'm sure we're really big in the Catholic community.
Like, guys, no, I mean, it's fair to believe what you want to believe, and I'll believe what I want to believe, and we'll all just hold hands and walk into the sun
So who
together.
would you bring into the film, Jordan?
I would bring Jesus into the film.
Okay, go on.
Big man.
Big
I'd have
JC.
him, just walking. When they're sweeping up the hair and the crown.
Yeah.
So she looks at the crown. She's like, "Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to be doing this thing for God." I'd have him just like, when you've just finished running and you just you're slowing down.
Yeah.
Just runs in, just like slows down, drops up, picks the crown, pops it on his head. It's like, "Hey guys, what's going on? Sorry, I'm late. Let me just clear some stuff up for you. She is my sister. Technically, we're all children of God, but she's just a little bit closer in the bloodline. You're all idiots because she's telling the truth. Fuck the English. Vive la France. Jesus is out," and then it'll just beam up in straight up into the sky.
Beat me up, Goddy. Yeah.
And then just a little like respect, like straight up into the sky, beam of light, and
Peace out.
Peace, everyone. See you later. I'll be back in another 1,000 years or whatever.
That is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to bring in Charlie Chaplin because I thought he'd be funny.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but why not just bring Jesus?
Why not Jesus as Charlie Chaplin?
What would Jesus do?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, you absolutely win bringing. That's the best bring we've had in a while.
Thank you. So you would bring Charlie Chaplin. What would you do?
Oh, I mean, I feel like anything I say now is not going to be
Just
nearly
do a
as funny.
funny walk with a
Yeah. He just kind of
just in the
waddle over.
background somewhere.
Yeah.
He'd just pick up the crown, or just pan over and there's his hat next to it. He just waddles in. Like, oh, sorry, forgot this.
This is
walks
mine.
out again.
All right, I'm out. Yeah.
Okay,
that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
That's all.
okay. So, would you stay indoors for this?
Yes, I think it's an important film to watch.
Okay.
As apparently it's one of the best films in the silent age, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's more silent films in this list, considering it's not even the oldest film in the list, Jordan.
Yeah.
1928.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool. Make sure you watch it with the music. If not, watch it with some random shit music random-ish music, whatever. So that's what you think. But I think, yes, I think it's good to watch. It kind of helps that I was French. By the way, completely coincidental that we're doing 2 French films in a row.
Yeah.
Would you stay indoors to watch it?
Undoubtedly, no.
Okay.
Absolutely. I could not disagree with you more. And even though I don't think that music could have made it any better, I feel like it was a complete waste of my time. There was no story that was interesting. I didn't find the acting convincing. I found the whole thing to be an utter shitbag.
Wow.
I don't understand why it's got the admiration that it does. I've seen some other silent films. I thought they're much better. No.
Okay.
Do not stay indoors.
I think it's just a bit too close to my heart because what with it being France and blah, 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 blah.
I feel like you have a little bit of bias. It's absolutely fine that you liked it and that you would ask other people to watch it. But
I haven't seen like Cool Runnings, for instance.
Right.
But I would imagine that I don't like it and you do.
No, you'll like it.
You think I will?
Yeah, you will.
Okay,
'Cause
that's
it's a
not
Disney film.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a Disney film?
Yeah.
Oh, I probably will like it then. Okay, cool. All right, so next week, we're going to be watching Intouchables or Intouchable because it is a French film.
We
Cool.
are going to be watching The Intouchables. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, yeah. So join us next week for a little bit of omelette fromage. And we'll see you next week. We'll see you
Yes,
next
we will.
week.
We'll see you next week,
Hey.
guys. Have a wonderful week. Remember to do your ironing.
And remember that sunshine is in your life. You just have to open the curtains.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Bye.
Bye. So that's the end of the podcast. We've reached the end of this journey, but not all journeys. So make sure that you tune in 250 Reasons on all social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can listen to us on Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, Acast, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, yeah. Just basically anywhere that you get your podcast from. And don't forget to send us your 15-second pitch to 250reasons@gmail.com. We love you all. We hope you the best wishes through these hard times.
We hope you the best wishes in these hard times.
We wish you a very best wish. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, bye now.
Bye.